Hello and welcome to Sport Classics Millennium Magic. While Wembley was being rebuilt, Cardiff's Millennium Stadium played host to several Carling Cup finals. They produced some wonderful matches and memorable performances. We go back to 2005 in this show to put the spotlight on the Carling Cup final between Liverpool and Chelsea. The two coaches, Rafa Benitez at Liverpool and Jose Mourinho at Chelsea, were both in their first seasons in English football. Their teams came up with a memorable final in Cardiff, watched by commentator Peter Drury.
The 45th League Cup final, the Carling Cup final that has truly come to matter. No piffling peripheral decoration for the season this, but a major item now on the agenda. Chelsea, everywhere you look a star, but at the end of a horrid week, Liverpool in a new record 10th League Cup final with history and now with momentum. Jim, it is much harder to call than it was 10 days ago.
You're right, because when the finalists were confirmed, I opted for Chelsea. Now I'm not as confident. I think we're about to find out how they react to a little more pressure, because Liverpool rediscover their spirit and togetherness in midweek.
Garcia has found Kuhl, who is a very fortunate fellow to have found fitness just in the nick of time for this. And Morientes has played it in, and Risa has scored! Inside 45 seconds! It is the quickest ever goal in a League Cup final, and it is scored spectacularly by John Risa.
Well, the technique here is just unbelievable. I mean, Chelsea have never really dealt with it at all. Morientes won the first header, and he just follows it up, gets a little lucky break, but he does so well here to dig it out. Chelsea could have defended it better, but how about that for technique? I mean, the Norwegian had to make sure he got over it and keep some sort of control on it, and he did that for fun.
A year ago, Joseph Desiree job 1 minute 39, and John Risa has slashed 50 seconds off the record, and he has done it in style. What a goal, what a start.
Well, I just think that Liverpool do like the stadium, and how.
They love it here, they've played here 4 times before. 2 League Cup finals, 1 FA Cup final, 1 Community Shield, played 4, won 4, and now up against Chelsea, who are behind again, 3rd time in the week. A penny for his thoughts. Work him out if you can. Terry puffing out his chest and driving his team on. His through ball was read by Carragher. Terry having already though been bulked by Didi Hamann, the German, or by Steven Gerrard on his way back.
I mean, it's something different because I think Chelsea are just struggling to find a way through. Gerrard did catch him.
Steven Gerrard, to whom this afternoon means just so much, wherever his future takes him. Even if that future were to be a London future, a West London future, there's nothing he would rather do than pick up this trophy for his hometown, even if it were a valedictory act. But it is Gerrard who has conceded the free kick, over which Duff, Jarosik and Lampard conspire. Frank Lampard, good one. Fierce enough right through the wall, but into the midriff of the keeper.
Well, if it's gone right through the wall, it shouldn't have. It's a sea of bodies. He's just gone away from the wall a little bit, and I think do that they'll be so relieved that that was at him.
Yeah, then it didn't kick up and hit his shoulder and bounce out to another.
Well, the pace was good enough, so a yard either side he might have problems, and also it could easily have taken a nick off someone.
That'll be a really settling moment for Jerzy Dudek, who was brilliant, remember, in the League Cup final 2 years ago against Manchester United. Those are the sorts of performances that tend quickly to be forgotten amid the odd error like that which he suffered against Bayer Leverkusen. This is Jarosik. Check his right back again. Duff has prodded it through for Cole now, who can worry Hupia and turn it in for Lampard. It's Joe Cole again. Gerrard threw his body in and so did Carragher. Liverpool smuggled it clear. And Garcia held it up for Gerrard, who has plenty of space ahead of him, and Kuehl ahead of him, and Finn alongside him, and Garcia inside of him. Here's Stevie Finnan. Gerrard's ball in. Garcia's nudge back. Terry into the air. So Terry towered over Harry Kuehl. And now Duff perhaps can break. Drogba. Rolling it for Paulo Ferreira. Cole. Clear of Reese. Yarosek. Punching tackle from Harman.
I think Chelsea have got to get some width into their play. I think particularly the two fullbacks, Paulo Ferreira and William Gallas, they've got to help them going forward and give them something wide.
Carvalho went in heftily on Morientes there.
No prisoners. He's trying to get the ball, but I mean he's gone through Morientes to do it.
Actually, he did take the ball as well as plenty of Morientes. There is a reunion from last year's Champions League final, Morientes and Carvalho. Forward by Traore. One area lead by Morientes, but there is no one running off him.
I think Liverpool can use that a little bit more because Morientes, since his involvement in the goal, seen very little come his way, and I think Liverpool can play off him a little bit more and bypass midfield that way. Get Luis Garcia and Harry Kuehl just getting in around him and try and pick up that sort of ball.
Herrera. Nowhere for Cole to go with that, really. Hard behind him. Harry Kuehl playing his first domestic football match since the 19th of December. Carvalho forward, Drogba taking it on his chest, Harman running it out. He's having an authoritative game to this point, Didi Harman. Kuehl for Finnan. Gerrard, Finnan. Oh, he held off Duff and he got away from Gallas and he played it in for Luis Garcia. Garcia's had a little dance, a brief pirouette, and then was robbed by Yarosek. And Drogba now can take on Carragher, but he wasn't going to get past Sami Hupia. Lampard going in fiercely at the back of Luis Garcia. Duff is making Lampard's case for him, but it's a case that's falling on deaf ears because Steve Bennett has his notebook out and his yellow card.
Well, I think you go into a tackle like that, then you have to get it cleanly. And he might have just got a little piece on the ball, but I think to the referee from his position, it looked worse than it actually was.
Frank Lampard, one of those in the Chelsea side who survives from their only previous visit here, which ended in defeat in the FA Cup final of 2002. Steve Bennett is one of those referees who emanates calm and common sense. He is a headline avoider, gladly. Chelsea might see that as a pleasant contrast with Mr. Frisk, who they endured in the week. Well, Gerrard has gone over under not a little pressure. Steve Bennett has waved that one away.
I must admit, when I first looked at that, I thought Makelele's fouled him because his arm's gone all over him and he's given him an excuse. He's given the referee an excuse to do something about that. That is dangerous stuff from Makelele. Could easily have been given.
Very, very easily. Such an unnecessary sort of a challenge as well.
I remember Makelele doing the same thing at Anfield on New Year's Day and getting away with it again.
Cole has played it through for Drogba! And it seems that Dudek must have got a bit on it.
Great little ball from Joe Cole. I mean, that's the first time they've looked at getting Drogba through today. Just down the side, perfectly into his path, and it was Dudek. That's an important save. Mind you, he likes this place too, doesn't he?
He has got a fraction of a finger on that, and that is a big save from Jerzy Dudek. It's Duff's deep corner, in by Terry, on by Lampard, and lashed away by Luis Garcia. Paulo Ferreira. Makelele. Chelsea getting a foothold in the game now. Duff. Taken away from him by his compatriot Finnan. Kuehl.
I think the problem for Frank Lampard here was very difficult for him to generate the power when it finally arrives off the head of John Terry. You know, but that's why Luis Garcia is there.
Yarrison. Lampard. Paulo Ferreira. Yarrison. Cole. And by Paulo Ferreira. Well watched by Hupia. Watched out by Risa. Liverpool on the cusp of having completed half the job now.
Chelsea are going to need to find another level second half, because in terms of possession and territory, they've dominated it. They've had much more of it, but Liverpool have defended very, very well.
There is the man of the half, a title established inside the first 3/4 of a minute. They've won this trophy under Bob Paisley and Joe Fagan, Roy Evans, Gerard Houllier twice, and now Rafa Benitez is 3/4 of a goalless hour away from winning it for Liverpool for the 8th time. Much football still to be played, but at half-time, Liverpool do lead. The 45th League Cup final produced the quickest goal ever in a League Cup final. Stunning purity of strike from John Arnorisa, and Chelsea trail again by 1-0. This time last week at St James's Park, Newcastle, Jose Mourinho was reacting to a deficit by making a triple substitution, perhaps overly bold. This time he restricts himself to just one change. He has withdrawn Yuri Yarasik, and in his stead, Ida Gudjonsson will play the second half, and Jim Beglin will interpret that change.
Well, it's not a surprise to see Yarasik go off, because he couldn't get involved in the game. It passed him by. Basically, they've gone to a 4. Cole is going to play right, and Gudjonsson's just going to play behind Drogba.
Lampard over the top. Drogba is onside here. Didier Drogba couldn't get the shot away, and Hupia got the clearance in. From Drogba's point of view, the ball took an eternity to fall. Here is Cole though for Chelsea, running at Finnan, and Cole has stabbed it in. Gudjonsson, brilliant save. Gallas following up, another fantastic save from Jerzy Dudek, for whom this is his stadium, this is his final, his competition. He turns up on this day and he shines.
I just think it was excellent football, and it's a great little ding from Joe Cole. That is absolutely superb, and the follow-up arguably better.
And here comes the corner, out by Traore. Well, Jerzy Dudek was the Liverpool hero of the League Cup final 2003 against Manchester United, who at times he single-handedly kept at bay. And after an unhappy week in Europe, he's shining again here, though Cole poses another threat. And here is Lampard. Makelele. Paulo Ferreira, bouncing off Risa, evading Gerrard. Gudjonsson. Garcia emerges. Gudjonsson robs it. Cole in space, flag up.
Shouldn't have been cut, Joe Cole, because he's looking across the line, and he's not complaining, so you think, yeah, it is off. But, I mean, for Jerzy Dudek to put midweek behind him takes a bit of doing, and he's just done it with some despair just then. Fantastic save to begin with, and what a follow-up that is. I mean, goalkeepers work on that all the time, reacting to the first save, and then having to get up quickly, make sure they see the danger off the second time. He's done so well.
Now Harman potentially to counter Ray. And Morientes, that's a smashing ball. And Garcia, and Harman onside! Oh, what a save from Czech. Well, he's been a spectator for, 20 minutes, half an hour, the Chelsea goalkeeper. But when Didi Harman tested him, how he passed that test.
Didi Harman's had a fantastic game. This you don't expect. And when he did get in the position, he executed that fantastically. Fine, fine save.
Drogba, Gudjonsson. Here's Joe Cole. And Gallas joining from left back. And Makelele sitting. Gudjonsson, Lampard. Duff. Paulo Ferreira digs out the cross. Hupia heads it away. Terry had to be sure of that and was. Makelele, Terry. Gudjonsson spooned into the path of Gallas, who bounces off Finnan, and Gallas crosses, and it's headed out from underneath his crossbar by John Arnorisa.
Clever by Gudjonsson. You know, it's one way of getting through. Gallas was very strong here, and Finnan could have stood up to it a little better. Good ball in, and he's happy just to get it anyway, Risa.
Having scored in that net once, John Arnorisa didn't want to do it again. Lampard's corner. Dudek again got something on it. Makelele back into the mix. Terry has gone over, and it is a goal kick.
He saw the challenge coming from Finnan, and he thought, oh, I'm going to go down here, John Terry. I think he knew once he got the touch on it, he was unlikely to keep it in play. And he's not complaining. He knows full well that he was just looking for a spot kick for his team. Sees Finnan at the corner of his eye. Oh, and he's gone down very easily.
Gerrard. Barros on the run now, shoulder to shoulder with Terry, who is strong enough, but Nunes can keep this in play. And it's Nunes with the deep cross, and Garcia approaching it, and Paulo Ferreira shepherding it behind. And Chelsea now having to commit to attack into the last quarter hour of the final. £214 million on players from Roman Abramovich, and how many trophies so far? A week ago, they could still have all four. In a quarter of an hour, it could be down to two maximum. It is Gerrard with the Liverpool corner. And Czech with a comfortable take. Lampard was caught by Harman, and Steve Bennett has brought it back, which may not be what Chelsea want. Actually, because Cole had space and the football. But Harman's going to have his name taken here.
I go with you, Peter, on that. I think he could have played the advantage, Steve Bennett, and then called it back to book the player. I mean, it's a foul, no doubt about it, but Joe Cole has a lot of space in front of him and can take it on.
A yellow card for the last 12 minutes of the game. Paulo Ferreira playing it in. Oh, it's got a deflection and gone in! Oh, what an unlucky break! And of all people, poor Stevie Gerrard has equalised for Chelsea. And poor Jerzy Dudek, who kept out everything Mourinho's Blues could throw at him. And there is so much irony in that goal. Stevie Gerrard, many believe, has just scored his first of many goals for Chelsea, and he scored it as a Liverpool player in a cup final.
I mean, you could probably say maybe a shout from someone behind and it's dealt with better. Carragher was there, but he's doing his utmost to keep it out. It was just that bit too high, and he couldn't control it.
10 minutes away from defeat.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
Wow,
You know, I know he's had a bit of abuse from that side, but he's inciting it by doing that. He doesn't need to get involved.
He's riling a row of scousers behind him, which is not a sensible thing to do. But I'm sorry, I look at those things from a purely human perspective, and from a purely human perspective, Stevie Gerrard, that is just so sad for him. The heart and soul of Liverpool. Now then, Glenn Johnson's going to come on for Chelsea. And we're staring down the barrel now of extra time.
I thought Mourinho might have just kept one substitution back if we do go to extra time, because you never know what's going to crop up, especially after what happened last week. But Benitez has made all three now, and that could take a toll.
Well, last week's emergency goalkeeper is going to come on in place of his former West Ham teammate Joe Cole.
I mean, now that Chelsea are back in it, Mourinho's just rectified things at the back. He's got a back four installed once more by Glenn Johnson coming on.
But Keshman, I gather, has been booked, and Jose Mourinho has been sent off. He's been sent from the bench, I would assume by the fourth official, as a result perhaps of confrontations with Liverpool fans around him, perhaps with officialdom. We have confirmation from the bench and from Phil Crossley there, the fourth official, that Jose Mourinho was sent away officially for inciting the crowd. Here is Lampard, who would incite the crowd further if he provoked Chelsea to score a winning goal in these closing moments. Carvalho, Drogba, out by Huppier, Lampard, oh, Duff, onside here to win it maybe, Dudek stood up strong, Drogba, Duff again, he couldn't finish.
Well, Dudek's having a day to remember, nothing he could do about the own goal, and he's hurting the process there. This is a cracking little ball by Lampard to get it through the Duff. Probably should have been intercepted before he got the chance to get the shot in, and he's followed it up and taken the kick to the knee in the process. Carragher probably just slipped as he tried to intercept, and when it came back, brave again.
In by Makalele. Huppier deals with it. Garcia comes to get it. Barros really needs to hold it up here for Liverpool. They need some respite. 6 minutes added on at the end of the game. Lampard!
Good effort, and it opened up. I mean, he wasn't shut down. Huppier maybe could have reacted a little quicker too. But again, born from Liverpool, giving it away. Lampard picked it up. Shouldn't have got the shot in. It was a decent effort too. And the last thing Liverpool needed to see was 6 minutes going up.
Drogba, Keshman, Duff. Pishkan. Barros on the chase now for Liverpool. Milan Barros with a chance. He made the angle prohibitive. And he lifted it high and wide.
But it's that ball I was talking about that Liverpool just need to keep trying to pull off to find Barros. Use his pace. I mean, Bischam, once he has it back, just lifts it over the top and allows him to run. Maybe the first touch could have been better. The angle isn't the greatest. And Cech was very big, wasn't he, near post. I mean, it was going to be difficult to squeeze it past him from that angle.
Makalele, Drogba. Who dares win? Duff. Huppier out. Nunes. in and out of a corner, but Liverpool just have nowhere to go at the moment. Lifted forward by Makelele. Up got Hupia. Drogba. Lampard. Gudjonsson. Ferreira. Into the 50th minute of the half now. Gudjonsson. Kejman. Drogba. And thumped high by Risa.
Liverpool look much the more fatigued. They look as if they're the ones who travelled in midweek and had the tougher game.
And the sense that they were so close and yet haven't crossed the line must be weighing on them too.
Right.
Finnan's foul on Duff. One Irish shin against another. And a Chelsea free kick as the clock ticks past 50 second half minutes. This is the last minute of stoppage time. Whipped in by Lampard. Spooned up off Nunes. Terry couldn't achieve the acrobatic cross.
Don't think he realised he had so much time, John Terry. He could have taken it down and actually turned on that. I mean, neither side really wants extra time considering their exertions during the week.
At least neither has an FA Cup replay this week. It's a week before they're back in Premiership action. Lampard forward, Drogba's touch. Long from Risa. 90 minutes. 96 if truth be known, but courtesy of a deeply unlucky Steven Gerrard own goal, the 45th League Cup final is turning itself into an epic, and there will be more. First League Cup final to require extra time since Liverpool eventually prevailed over Birmingham on penalties 4 years ago. Chelsea's last final against Middlesbrough in 1998 also required extra time. And here is Kejman for Chelsea, and he's played it in towards Drogba. And Carragher is cleared, and Johnson has picked up the pieces. And Johnson's played it in for Kejman, and Kejman has laid it back for Makelele. And his cross is aimed at Drogba and steered behind by Finnan.
Good defending. He needed to be strong because he's been bullied off it a couple of times, Finnan, by Drogba.
Outswinger. Terry attacked it but made no contact. This is Carvalho. Bishkab has lost his footing. And Carvalho can play it in, and Dudek again has got a hand on it. And Carvalho took it back, and Kejman crossed, and Hupia stood in the way. And eventually Harman cleared, and now if Barros had taken it in his stride, he could have got away from Paulo Ferreira, but Makelele stole it back. Duff. Gudjonsson. And Duff in space, and Drogba has hit the post, and Finnan away, and the flag actually was up.
Yeah, and he should have scored. I mean, I think his reaction tells you that, because there was a completely free header when it fell for him. I mean, I think it probably was Duff when it's played to, because Drogba certainly not. I mean, I think when it slipped through to Damien Duff, I think it was flagged offside then.
Terry. What a bold run that is. What a tame pass at the end of it, and he's got a long way to get back now. As ever, Makelele is filling in.
Just think, when's the last time Chelsea have scored? Belletti, Gerrard?
A couple of own goals have done them proud, haven't they? Don't even need to do it for themselves anymore. for Lampard. He always looks the same. Could be a picture of him on any ground at any time. Bless him, he's shy. Swap wallets with him. Johnson, Drogba. Further away from Duff. He's done well there. After such a tiring and meaningful game, it's still being played with fantastic energy, this. And here is Gerrard. He's seen Núñez wide, and he's played a peach of a ball here for Antonio Núñez. Aimed at Garcia. That was John Arnorita about 3.5 hours ago.
He hit that too. He's spot on. He's a little further out. It's a similar angle, but much further out. But he really connected with this too, Luis Garcia. It's a good block from Johnson. I just wonder whether I think Chet might have been having problems with that too.
He's done well, the young full-back. Harman. Didi Harman. Oh, some ticklish little one for Chet to get behind.
I think the keeper will be glad of just a normal bounce then.
Should talk about that. The pitch was played okay. They were worried about it. It's only been down for 10 days. But it hasn't cut up at all, really. No nasty divots for the goalkeepers. A lift on Harman's shoulders. Disapproving headmasterly look from Rafa Benitez. The smiling cerebral Spaniard who's come into quite a job at Anfield. Liverpool, a club weighed down by its own history. Has to deal in trophies, which was 10 minutes away from a trophy here, a trophy which is still within its grasp. Barros, well watched by Carvalho. Garcia favoured every last ounce of leather on his boot. 3 minutes of the first period of extra time to play. Makalele. Well watched by Carragher, down by Lampard and hit impurely by Mateo Kezman. Played in this stadium before in a win for Serbia and Montenegro, a 3-2 win over Wales last October. The last League Cup final to be decided during extra time was won by Chelsea against Middlesbrough in '98, an extra time period during which Frank Sinclair and Roberto Di Matteo both scored. All this added to the score sheet in this extra chunk so far. By Hopia, Carvalho in hard at the back of Barros. And with the first extra quarter hour very nearly at its end, Liverpool have a set-piece opportunity.
A long way for a shot, but you never know what the pace Gerrard can generate.
Hopia has lumbered forward again to give Terry a potential problem. Garcia's in the mix, and Núñez is in the mix, and Barros is there as well. And Gerrard has played a smart one, and Luis Garcia's onside here. And And Garcia has played it across, and Bishkan rose and was just off target.
Well, I just wonder whether Sami Hyypiä would have had a better attempt behind, but it's clever because Chelsea completely went to sleep, and it's very well worked by Liverpool. Luis Garcia's hung it up beautifully. That was there for him, wasn't it? And he had a chance of getting that down. That was a good opportunity for Bishkan. Okay, it's a little crowded, but it's a chance.
He has 2 goals in 104 Liverpool appearances. It's Igor Bishkan. Been a bad time to get a third. Macaulay. Johnson. Carragher away from Drogba. Kejman. He's bounced off Harman. And Kejman's had a drive, and Dudek's fielded that okay. It didn't have a lot of vim and vigour, but he may have seen it latish.
I mean, it's the best thing he's done, Kejman, since he's come on, and I think you called it, Peter. That's the problem for him. There isn't really enough behind it.
It's half-time in extra time, and there is still no addition. We are now a quarter of an hour away from penalties. It remains Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1. The word from the tunnel is that Jose Mourinho is down the tunnel, sitting in the television interview room, watching this on a monitor and screaming at the screen in Portuguese. He's not the only observer of this game who is impassioned by it. It really could go either way, and feelings are running high. It is a very tense Millennium Stadium now. Imagine how it'll be if it does go all the way to spot kicks. Here is Kejman. Now by Harman.
Well, you're probably thinking maybe somebody might nick it from a set piece the way it's going, because open play, the exchanges are a little tired, as you'd expect. Concentration's a big thing now. When you're physically tired, you need to dig in and try and focus that bit harder.
In by Lampard, and Dudek did what he had to do. Made up his mind not to try and cling on, and he made good his clearance. He was a hero of a penalty shootout earlier in the competition against Tottenham, Jerzy Dudek. A save from Freddy Canute which took them through on a night where they were very nearly beaten. Florent Cinema Pongol came to the late rescue. There's Johnson's long throw, and Hyypiä missed it, and Drogba has smuggled it in, and Chelsea finally lead. Didier Drogba, 106 minutes. And Sami Hyypiä is having to be consoled by his keeper. And Roman Abramovich has something to applaud, and he may have something tangible.
Well, I'm just surprised at the end, because for me, Hyypiä seemed to take himself away from it. He seemed to duck out of the challenge when he could have just dealt with it and headed it. Carragher was completely cut out, and it's dropped beautifully. Watch here, Hyypiä's just ducked away from it. He could have gone and dealt with a header then, and it's just dropped beautifully for Drogba, and he couldn't really miss from there, but could have been avoided.
For Didier Drogba, who has been booked after removing his shirt, it is his first ever goal in English domestic cup football. Last season he scored goals home and away against Liverpool for Marseille in the UEFA Cup, and now he has possibly scored the goal which wins the Carling Cup for Chelsea, also against Liverpool.
I'm just baffled as to why a strapping centre-back would not commit himself to winning that. What was Sami Hyypiä doing? Daft.
Liverpool now have 12 minutes to save themselves, having been within 12 minutes of winning this competition. Harman. Carragher. Finnan. by Terry, out by Makaleli. Drogba now can run at Hoopier if he chooses. He's got over Hoopier, he's got himself a free kick. A little subplot developing. Glenn Johnson's involved, and Didi Harman. And Steve Bennett's having to calm this down, and his assistants are quickly in to aid him in that project. Harman has already been booked in the game, so from his point of view it is to be hoped that there was no further sin that the referee has spotted.
Well, Makaleli is the biggest complainant, but I don't think Didi Harman raised his hand to anybody, and I think that might be a saving grace.
Well, he has been summoned by the official. Liverpool are now a goal down. Chelsea have Makaleli struggling badly. Could do without being a man down as well. Harman has got away with whatever his alleged sin was, and it was it was a set-to with Frank Lampard. I think Harman was within his rights to consider that free kick taken.
I thought so too.
Lampard protected the ball, and Chelsea have another chance to strike a free kick forward. Has been hauled over by Finnan, and Liverpool are starting to look a shade desperate now. And Finnan is going to have his name taken.
Well, he didn't seem to react to the foul. I just wonder if Steve Finnan mouthed something as he went away. I think he's escaped yellow too, isn't he?
His name wasn't taken, but he has conceded a free kick now. Frank Lampard. Lampard's delivery, and Dudek got a bit on it. Good Johnson back in. Dudek on the line. Cashman on the line. And Chelsea have surely won the Carling Cup. Mateo Cashman with only his 4th goal in Chelsea blue.
Well, tiredness breeds mistakes. I thought Hoopier made a mistake for Drogba's, and certainly I think Dudek could have reacted better here on the first punch. When this comes in to begin with, Dudek doesn't get enough on it. I think he could deal with that much better. Gudjonsson's able to retrieve. It's difficult for Dudek then. I think it was just over the line, wasn't it? That's a good call by the officials. But Dudek could have dealt with it to begin with a much better clearance, more decisive punch. Yeah, clearly over the line from Cashman.
It is a very, very good call by the officials. This was to have been a game in which they were going to experiment with goal line technology. That hasn't actually happened, but it could easily have been pertinent here. It is a very, very good shout by the referee and his assistant Rob Martin, who ought to take great credit.
You're right, much more obvious examples this season haven't been given.
Chelsea are going to get their prize, barring something extraordinary in the last 7 or 8 minutes here. Gerrard's free kick, flicked up into the air by Lampard. Cech can't get it, it's in the net! It's 3-2 and it's not all over! Nunes applied the touch, and Liverpool aren't dead yet! This is some final! This is some final!
Well, that is incredible. I mean, Nunes has done very well, very strong in his part. There's a yellow card, is it for Duff for complaining? I think he wanted a foul. But Nunes just held his ground, was very, very strong. But Chelsea again should have been looking to get that away. That should have been a much better header from Frank Lampard. Hung it up. Cech got badly caught underneath it, didn't he, to allow Nunez to get the header in. The keeper should have followed it up after a bad header and didn't. Another twist.
This is turning into a ridiculous football match. It's a lot of fun. It must be painful to be committed in it, but didn't Nunez throw his frame in bravely there? Chelsea fans with their Barcelona scarves. They've had some week of highs and lows. Liverpool need the ball. Liverpool have the ball, and Liverpool have to use the ball to terrific effect now with a minute to save the day. Terry hurling himself in, he was fouled by Barros, and that may be that. Chelsea ought to be able to eat up a minute now, and if they eat up that minute, then in their centenary year they will have a prize. Chelsea Football Club, founded in the Rising Sun pub, Fulham Road, on the 14th of March 1905, 2 weeks short of their 100th birthday, are 30 seconds short of their first prize for 5 years. It's Barros. Back by Terry. Up gets Hupia. Risa, last chance. Last chance. Risa has to get it right. He's got himself at best a throw, not even that if Johnson gets there. And that thump of the ball takes us into stoppage time, of which there will be a generous 2 minutes.
Well, he can launch it as well, Risa, and he needs as much as he can get out of this. They're all up again.
Johnson's miscued. Barros. Cashman's tackle.
It's been a set-piece tackle there. All the goals have been coming from set pieces. Chelsea have got to dig in on this.
It ain't over till it's over. Liverpool aren't for lying down. Risa's long throw. Lampard's header out. Wide again from Garcia. Risa had to get it right. It's a good cross from Risa, and Cech on the line has gathered from Bishkan's header.
Well, I think the goalkeeper will be relieved. I mean, he could have been closed down much quicker, couldn't he? And stopped getting the cross in. There was enough room, wasn't there, inside the post, but instead Bishkan, maybe he's not expecting it, has gone back towards Cech. What a relief for Chelsea.
The whistles now are blue whistles. Chelsea desperate for the end. Liverpool pumping it long. Carragher's in trouble. He can barely put one foot in front of the other. Barros. Risa. Garcia let it run. Makaleli has run it out. Time is running out. Gerrard forward, the final whistle. It is a blue day. Today, in his bizarre absence, is finally Jose's day. They, under him, have delivered at once. First available prize under Jose Mourinho, and despite his dismissal, the serial Portuguese prize winner has gone and won it for Chelsea. Drogba and Cashman with the goals in extra time that secured it. Much sympathy for Steven Gerrard, whose own goal equaliser denied Liverpool the trophy. But Chelsea have finally delivered to Roman Abramovich a tangible return on his near limitless investment. To Chelsea's fans, their first prize for 5 years, and this, you have to believe, is only the start of it. Well, the first time is always special. And whether this is the only time that Chelsea queue for medals this year, or merely the first of 2 or 3 prize-winning ceremonies, it is the first of the Abramovich era, it is the first of the Mourinho era, and it is the first in Chelsea blue for several of these players. Drogba and Keshman, the goal scorers. Czech who made crucial interventions. And it is the first under the captaincy of John Terry, accompanied by his occasionally smiling boss. You are allowed to enjoy this, Jose. The first under the captaincy of John Terry, who will never forget the day he stepped forward with what will be a smile the breadth of Fulham Broadway. First to collect the Alan Hardacre Man of the Match award. It had a great personal triumph for him, but it won't mean as much as the cup to his right. He'll never forget that in the year of the 100th birthday, he collected the Carling Cup for Chelsea.
And that's it for now. We hope you've enjoyed this trip through the archives. Join us again for more sport classics.